This is a very important step for many in their journey with a custom stock. This is where people can spend from hours to a couple weeks deciding on the right piece for someone to shape into their customized masterpiece. Throughout this video, we come to find the most important factor in finding the right piece is finding the right one for you. Is that English walnut, Turkish walnut, maple, or maybe something more exotic? Do you like something that's dark or light? Are aesthetics important to you, like something with feathering and fiddleback? Or even maybe, durability is more important to you than beauty? Sometimes I take the knowledge I have for granted, so I brought in my brother just in time and a complete amateur to ask questions to make sure we didn't gloss over anything. Regardless of your tastes, it can be a tough decision. So that's why I've brought in Greenwood to talk to you guys through some of the considerations when it comes to choosing final stock wood. None of this would be possible without the help of this channel's sponsors and viewers like yourself. Every bit goes a long way in the realm of YouTube, so I ask that you like the videos, subscribe to the channel, and most importantly, sit back and enjoy. If you have questions or want to share your experiences, be sure to post them below. If you enjoy the videos I put out, you may also enjoy the podcasts and articles I publish. You can find them at the website claylabusa.com. Without further ado, I bring you a Greenwood Uncut episode.
Yeah, so I've kind of separated these two tables. This one, the grain, a little bit more open, not as many black lines running through it. We get over here to this table, it's got a little bit more burl to it.
Oh yeah.
Some more bird's eye to it, yep. A little bit tighter grain. One of the things when we're looking at a stock is we want to make sure it runs good right through their head, right where it's going to be the thinnest part. If it's real,
impact, right?
Yeah, exactly, where all the recoil is going to be taken. So if it's real vertical running through there, then it's more likely to have some crack, not going to be as strong. Where if it can be real straight through there, then it's going to take that recoil real good. Like you look at this one here, it goes right through that head, nice and straight.
Oh yeah.
Then you can also flip it, and you look at the top of the blank and see how it also runs. There it kind of runs.
Yeah,
it's got a little bit of a sideways motion, but if you go straight up from where the head's going to be, where the receiver comes in, it's pretty dang straight running through there.
Yeah.
And most of these here don't have any finish on it. This one's got some finish. There's a few scattered that have a little bit of finish. They're typically going to show up a little darker when you do put finish on them. And then obviously the more you shoot it, the more that stock is exposed to the UV rays, the more the oil of your hands and everything, the darker it's going to get as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, everything here is Turkish walnut. We got 2 blanks of English, but Turkish is definitely my personal favorite, and that's what the crowds.
Is it by the way it looks, or
yeah,
is
just
the like,
a lot of the color,
strength?
a lot of the color to it. Really, there's a little bit of difference in strength, but I mean, for how many rounds we're going to be putting through it, you're probably never really going to know. Like if you look at this one, it may be a little bit weaker. It's got a little bit of burl.
Right,
yeah, it's got a little bit of a soft spot. But that also could just be on the surface.
Yeah.
You could get down in there once it's all duplicated and it could be gone.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
You never really know what it's,
so.
yeah, I mean, there could be, he's had some blanks where the outside, no blemishes, nothing to it, and he gets down in there, and there's a huge hole in there.
Yeah.
So you just never really know. But I mean, Turkish gonna be a little bit darker. It can be, there can be some lighter Turkish, definitely. English has more of a, I see more of like a red tint to it. These ones don't really have it, but they usually have what we call a feather crotch. It usually starts at the comb of the nose and ends at the heel.
Oh, yeah.
This one, these don't really have it. This blank has a little bit, you can kind of see.
Oh, yeah,
it can also be called, yeah, it can also be called fiddleback. You'll have some people call it. But when you look at both of these and how they run through the grip.
Oh yeah, it comes right into there. Yep. The way the wood grain. Oh.
Yep. And you'll see a lot of English blanks have that little bit of sapwood in them. Some people like it. Yeah, some people like sapwood. I don't like it. It's typically softer.
Yes.
I like dark mineral lines, so when I get sapwood that's got nothing in it, doesn't do much for me.
So have you ever made stock from like different other types of woods? Like
He's got some American walnut he uses. American walnut is by far the softest of English and Turkish.
Okay.
It's It's much softer. It has even more of a red tint to it than what English does.
But it has a tendency to break easily?
It can crack a little bit easier.
Okay. So these are just a hardwood that is...
Yeah, exactly.
Like
this cream of the
sturdy, like very good for stocks.
Exactly.
So
then the English is good as well. He uses it as his patterns. It shapes so much quicker.
Yes.
It's so much softer, so the wood just falls right off. It's a whole lot quicker for him.
Oh yeah.
Where if he does his upgraded patterns, where most of the time that will be Turkish, it takes him an extra hour or two just because the wood's so much harder to get rid of.
Yeah, that's
he's had some people ask for is it African blackwood? I think somebody's asked for.
Yeah.
That stuff's like a rock.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, nah, I'm gonna stick to what he knows.
Like, what about Purple Heart?
I don't know that one.
It's like it's like a very rare, like.
Oh really?
It's like a rare type of
blood
wood.
diamonds or strength?
No, like no,
He's-
no, it's not. It's just it's like a purplish.
Really? I haven't seen
Purple Heart. Very like
that American walnut. It stains his hands purple.
Oh really? Mm-hmm. Oh, that's.
It stains. Yeah. By the end of the day, like you look at his hand, there's a slight tint of purple to him.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Or like zebra wood, or.
He's had some people ask for that. Doesn't do it.
But it
He's
all
had.
depends on how like.
Yeah, and
how
he's
available it is.
right, and he's had some people that ask about, oh, I cut a walnut tree in my backyard. It's like, okay, well that's great, but you also got to think about the moisture in the wood.
Yeah.
Okay, so most of these are going to range anywhere from 10 to 12% moisture. Well, they've been they've been dried for.
Yeah.
These have probably been dried between a year, some of them all the way up to 5 years. They've been dried. So you can't just go cut a tree down in your backyard and go make it into a stock. Yeah, it's gonna warp as all the moisture comes out of it. It can check. That's why if you look at most of these, you can really see it over here. All the wax they put on them. They put wax on both ends, and what that does is it forces the moisture to come out of the sides.
Oh, that makes sense.
Where if you ever see stock planks, they have some big old cracks running down the back side. It's what we call checking. Yeah, that's wax right there. Yep, that's all wax.
That's all the stuff coming out?
No, that's just wax like from a candle they put on it. And so what that does is it forces the moisture to come out of the sides, where if it came out of the ends, you get big old checks and cracks in them.
Yeah.
And then that can potentially ruin a piece of wood.
Oh yeah.
So as we were talking earlier about blemishes, you can see this one. Pretty visible on the outside.
But when you get down,
it almost looks like there's not a hole, like we're just about at the end of it. But you could get in there and it could be a big old knot that opens up down in there. So yeah, that could be, that definitely could be part of it.
Crack right there. Yeah, okay.
Yep. And so typically, like some burl pieces, this has a little bit of burl to it. This one here's got a little bit of burl in it. What can happen is when he duplicates those and he's shaping them out, is there's going to get numerous holes like there. I mean, there could be little holes like that. There's nothing wrong with it structurally. There's just those many holes, and he's got hundreds of them to fill. So then he's got to mix up epoxy.
Yeah.
Then you put it in. Well, you hope that little deal isn't a 1/4 inch deep, because you put a little bit of epoxy, just runs right through. Yep. So it may take a few mixings of epoxy just to fill one little tiny hole, but there's nothing structurally, especially where that is, there's nothing wrong with it. Now, if it was up in here, then yeah, there maybe could be something that comes out of it, but
so all the strength would want to be up the thinnest part.
Yep. Right where the receiver's coming in, so the ears are going to be really thin on both sides.
So this is in essence the base and the supports. All right, let me do my checkbook. Wouldn't it be? So this would be your base here. Your base. All your your supports are coming back there from the receiver. Okay. Yep. And most of the time, he works really hard to get them laid out so they flow good. There's also
if you look at some of these pieces, they're not even on both sides. So then it's also to think about if it's a right-handed shooter or if it's a left-handed shooter. Well, if it's a right-handed shooter, maybe it works good on that side for the show side. Every time, like you filming right now, right? You want to get the best picture you can. So let's say, yeah, if we look at this one, it's got a really good show side here. Got a lot of good dark mineral lines. There's nothing wrong with this side. There's just a few less lines.
Yeah.
So maybe this works good for a left-handed shooter.
Oh, that's true.
So when they're taking the picture and they want to show their buddies, like, hey, look at the stock that I just got, then they can see the great looking side.
Okay.
So there's a lot of little nuances that go
Yep.
into it for sure.
Which is really
And there's, I mean, I'll go grab a spray bottle real quick. And the difference is this one will be a little darker. That one's probably going to be lighter. These are both going to be really dark.
And that's going to be
yeah, and so you can tell kind of by looking at it, but then there's also times you'll spray it. We spray them with water. It gives you pretty close to what it's going to look like with finish.
Yeah.
And by doing that, it really changes the way the grain and everything pops. So I think we got a spray bottle in here. I got to go.
Or I got a knife if you want to spray it.
Oh no, this worked. So there, it really changes color, darkens up.
Yeah.
You see all the dark mineral lines running through it really good now.
Oh yeah, those are blacks come into a, like. Oh, that's beautiful.
So then you get back to these. Like this one
I know
here,
these are gonna be great.
These are gonna be really dark.
Yeah.
Not as dark as we thought, a little bit lighter.
Actually, oh, that's gorgeous.
So it really shows there's a little bit of honey color to it. See the dark mineral lines, really good. Yep. Little burls in them. Yep.
Nice little swirls. That's good. And then, so question.
Yep.
Since there's a burl right here.
Yep.
Would that be a problem when it comes down to
It could be. It could be.
But this is on the underside, right?
Right. So it could be. So what he could do is when he puts it in his duplicator, is he just leaves that to the low side. So he puts the top of the stock would be really close to up here.
Okay.
And tries to get out of that.
Ah.
So he can manipulate it in his duplicator to try and avoid some of these. Yeah, up top here. Exactly. And this one really darkens that up a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Brings out some of the grain that you don't see without some of that, but
oh yeah.
This is one of the better pieces he's got here.
That is.
This one is.
I can tell that's gonna be a great
It was a
piece.
matching set, and the one guy bought there's a smaller blank.
Yeah,
he bought
that's
it.
Gonna be. Oh. How it just flows.
So, yeah, and you
flows straight down.
Right, and if you look, all those light mineral lines, the fiddleback that runs through it. There's a big one right through there running, another one there. And the fiddleback, there's nothing, doesn't do anything to the integrity of it, but boy, does it look good.
Oh yeah, especially if the contour lines come straight from the right,
yeah, coming right off the receiver back in there. Oh yeah.
Towards the end, that's gonna look awesome.
Yeah, that's one of his better pieces that he's got right now. That's the one thing is your choice of wood is different than mine. My choice of wood is different than Jim's. So everybody's kind of got their own. So like if you were gonna pick out a blank, I would go, okay, do you like light wood or dark wood? Okay, do you like burl? Do you like straight grain? Do you want a little bit of honey in it, like some of that there?
Oh yeah.
Do you want it to be really dark? Do you like tight grain, like that's some pretty tight mineral lines, or do you want some more open lines, like this one's got here? It's not nearly as tight as what that is. It's got a little bit of fiddleback we can tell running up here. A lot lighter piece of wood.
So the stock basically tells the story of you, of how you are.
Yeah, it's how what you like and what you want to choose. He's had customers that spend 3 days looking at wood, and they'll look at this blank, then that one, then they'll come back to this one, then they'll go to that one, and then they'll call them a week later and you're like, wait, Jim, wait. I think I've changed my mind. But He's got a lot of wood selection. A lot of wood selection.
Yeah,
a little bit. That's just tape.
No, even that, just the way it.
Yeah, it comes straight back through.
all the way back through the stock.
Yep, really, really good running through the head there.
Yeah.
Got quite a bit of fiddle back to it when you look at it.
Oh yeah, you can
running through there. Yeah, running up through here through the head.
Thanks for talking to me about stocks and the way the grain and everything and how it's actually produced.
Yeah, you're welcome. There's a lot of nuances that go into it.
Oh yeah, very enjoyable. Thank you.
You're welcome.
If you made it this far, don't forget to subscribe and check out some of the other videos we have on our playlist. And with that, until next time.